there are so many enjoyments still within government circles. What are you doing to ameliorate the plight of citizens? Abulo Semwagu joins me.
Amechi, thank you, and good morning, dear listener. It's the last working day in the calendar and the last day of the month of June.
And the last day of the first half.
The last day of the first half of 2023. So 6 months gone. What have we as a country achieved? What have you as an individual achieved? Have we done much? The first half of the year is characterized by several issues, including the one involving our own chairman that left this world, and several other issues. I think we need to review it and to see what we need to focus on going to the second half of the year 2023. One issue that is before us is the review of INEC performance during the election, and also the other issue is the postponement of the population, and the other issue
census.
The other issue is expectation from the cabinet the president is going to nominate. And several other issues we're looking forward to in the next half of the year 2023. I'm actually going back to the comments by the president. He said he was very active, very strong looking yesterday, very bold speaking that he is taking baby steps. Those are the words he used.
That we should go through baby steps in faith.
Yeah, in faith. And he understands the pains
or baby steps of pain.
Yeah, okay. There are baby steps of pain. He understands what Nigerians are going through, and we should be patient with him. And going forward, those things will translate into the dream that he has in the renewed hope. And if you listen to him yesterday, he kept re-emphasizing the renewed hope, and why he embraced the slogan Emilokon, because he knows what he has in stock for Nigerians. Amechi, but he should not forget why he's talking about baby steps. He should not forget that the first 6 months of President Muhammadu Buhari was characterized by the word Baba go slow, Baba go slow. I hope he will not allow the baby steps linger for too long before some concrete reforms are seen in the polity.
Well, the issue of pains, that they are temporary, they will fizzle away in the long term. We understand that. And I like the way the president keeps emphasizing that. He understands that indeed Nigerians are going through pains as he plans to roll out policies and measures that will cushion the effect. We advise the government to also begin to walk the talk on his own part and begin to also make sacrifices. Every administration will ask for sacrifices from citizens, but it will be better if you lead by example. That was what Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, said in reaction. Now, we understand, for instance, the issue of the over 100 vehicle in the convoy of the president. Yes, we understand that he's a Lagos boy and that he was not the only VIP in that convoy. There were several state governors, several government officials whose convoys were also part of it. So if you really do the additions and subtraction, it may not be as much for that of the president as we think. Of course, the first time he's coming back to Lagos, after being declared president, you expect a mammoth crowd and a long retinue of vehicles. But beyond that, they should also understand that these are extraordinary times. Such a large convoy appear not to be in tune with people who are not moving. A lot of people have said they are not leaving their homes, they are not going to offices because of the high prices of transportation based on fuel price increase. So the government must have it at the back of their mind that this is an extraordinary time, and they have to encourage the citizens to sacrifice, not to preach to us to sacrifice. You show us the sacrifices you're making. By the number of special advisors the president has appointed, he has not showed sacrifice. Muhammad Buhari had 15, has been given approval to get 20. Look at the number of special advisors from the speaker. Is it 34 or what? These actions are contrary to what they are preaching.
While we don't want to dwell much on the convoy of the president, I want to comment the unity I saw among the former governors of Lagos State. I saw Ambode there, I saw Fashola there, and the host governor. And several other governors from the southwest were there. And even the governor of Abia State, surprisingly, who won the election under the platform of the Labour Party, was there in Lagos to receive the president. So all those, their convoy add up to the number 105. And the luck that the Lagosians had yesterday also, because it was public holiday, so the activities reduced. Amechi, I forgot to mention that the second half of the year we'll also be looking at the breakdown of this fuel subsidy removal. The fuel subsidy for the month of June was not there, and we hear from the independent petroleum marketers, they're saying that about 400 billion have been recouped, and now we have an advice coming from Shehu Sani, a former senator, saying that Tinubu should not distribute this money to governors as a kind of form of palliative. The money of government is inside the treasury, and it is used, as you said. You remember what you said about 2-3 months ago, that the government does not keep money and say, oh, money is saved from subsidy, okay, we should divert it. No, the money is in the coffers, is there, and is being used.
Is it really in the coffers? Because for now it's the NNPC that has been the sole importer of petrol in Nigeria. They told us they were doing crude swap at some point. They also rechristened it under recovery and all that. Now, for a long time, the NNPC has not paid money into the Federation account based on its status as a commercial entity.
And they say you are owing them now.
So it remains to be seen how much accrues. At the end of their financial year, they are supposed to pay profit into the Federation account. And once it goes into the Federation account, it should be shared between the federal and state government. The states will get theirs. What they do with it is their problem. The federal government will also get its. What they do also is their problem. But if you want to save, you want to invest it on the people, and will continue to demand, tell us the expected savings and where you're going to put this money on.
If you're going to distribute the 400 billion thereabouts to 36 states government and 37 plus FCT and the federal government, you'll be getting like 20-something billion each. So what would they do with it? I think
That's in 1 month alone.
In 1 month. So I think what state governors need to do to help the situation is to be innovative. A former executive vice chairman of infrastructure concession company, engineer Isuwada, late, said that there's nothing wrong in borrowing what another state is doing, but all you need to do is to do it excellently well and do some additions to make it more unique to yourself, but you have actually borrowed. So that brings me to the issue of palliatives. I mean, we talked about transportation. Nigerians are going through hell, and it's so embarrassing to go to the internet to see that Abuja, one of the capitals of the world, is the worst planned transportation capitals of the world. It's not supposed to be. We're a rich country, we have the resources, and we have the intellect. Go abroad and you see the Nigerians that are making waves. Why have we not importing these ideas back to home and show example with Abuja? I'm sure if Abuja has a good rail system, has a good transportation system, has a good track, has pedestrian, other states will copy. When you visit Nigeria, Abuja, you go to your state and quickly replicate. I remember when El-Rufai came in 2-3 years ago, 2-3 years in administration, he made street lights from when you are entering from outside the states, all entrance to the states, there were street lights on the road, and some state governors copied him. And when you're entering Sokoto, then you see street light. When you're entering some states that, so we need to know what the people want. What the people need to cushion the effect of this fuel subsidy. We talked about reducing the amount for vehicle renewal. We talked about reducing school fees. I know students are already protesting now that schools want to increase. Good. Okay. So there are certain things government need to look at. Palliative. I heard that cooking gas has reduced. So certain things.
Price of diesel.
Good. So indirectly, directly or indirectly, some things, when they are reduced, the impact will not be felt.
Now, we were on this, was it 2 days ago on this program where we were speculating, Reno Bozogie joined us and she's here now. We're speculating over whether, indeed, as we saw on the social media, that former President Muhammad Buhari met with incumbent President Bola Tinubu in London. There was no official confirmation, and we said we'll make inquiries. Now it appears that the meeting actually took place. Yes, it did take place. Garba Shehu, spokesperson to the former president, confirmed. The initial report from the social media was that Muhammad Buhari met with Tinubu in London, and he was pleading with him passionately to stop the onslaught against his men in government. Recall, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele is in the cooler still in DSS custody, and of course EFCC Chairman Abdul Rashid Bawa suspended also, still in DSS custody, and there were reports that some other henchmen that were in office during the Buhari administration may also go their way. So that report came in, there was no confirmation or denial from either the president's camp nor the former president's camp. And so this confirmation from Garba Shehu came yesterday that they actually met in London. He denied that that issue was not the subject of their discussion, that they didn't talk about not going after the president's men. But he didn't tell us what they discussed. He said it was just two of them that were in that room. So they are giving us room to speculate now. He said they did not discuss that while other reports said they did. So what did they discuss? It's so why that meeting? Yes, as citizens, as friends, as party members, they can meet. But it's so soon after the president, former president, left office, and he told us that he was going to stay in Daura, and that he will be in Daura, and if we disturb him, he will go to Niger Republic. At some point, he also mentioned that he will move over to Kaduna, where he has spent a greater part of his life after his military foray in government. Now, the former president, Garba Shehu told us yesterday that disturbances from people who were trooping to Daura forced him to go to London. We thought he would cross over the border, which is about 20 kilometers from his house, to the Niger Republic to find peace and comfort there, but he chose London. Now, we record that after President Tinubu attended the summit, international summit in Paris, he flew to London. Now, a lot of questions. Was it an arranged meeting, an arrangement for two of them to meet in London? What did they actually discuss in London? We'll go back to the social media. The social media these days, you can't really ignore it. It's beating the conventional media to news and breaking news, but we'll always take it with a pinch of salt. We will not confirm it till we get official confirmation. Reno Obozoge, what is the social media saying about that meeting that held in London?
Okay, just as you said, the report is still leading that they actually met, as has been confirmed. But since Garba Shehu did not actually tell us that this was what they discussed, that it was just the two of them in the room, so it's not possible for anyone to be sure what they discussed. So they are keeping to the first report that says Buhari is asking Tinubu not to investigate his men, those who worked with him while he was in office.
Amici, if you know the person of President Muhammadu Buhari, he doesn't like talking too much. That is why most times if you go for an event, he wants a written speech. He wants to just read directly from the paper, and that is all. He doesn't like talking too much. So people are speculating, as you have said. I don't think we should dwell much on this speculation. Whatever they've discussed, they are friends, they are party members, and he's still his leader. So whatever they have discussed, maybe just extend pleasantries. How are you doing? How are you doing? When are you going to put minister? Or probably he's appealing, put some men of my men in your ministerial list. So probably we are just assuming.
So you're doing your own speculation.
So I think, well, as you said about the social media meal, we should tread carefully and allow event take its course, really.
Well, whatever it is, that meeting, for me, I think it came too soon. Perhaps very much later we may begin to get to hear feelers from me. But the report on the social media is that the former president was not comfortable with the way they're going after his men. And I asked if that is true. Did the former president Buhari not go after Goodluck Jonathan's men?
Even judges.
He even went after Goodluck Jonathan's wife. So if that is the case, what stops this president, if he has a probable cause, to ask the security agencies to do their job?
Buhari came with a mantra. Buhari's mantra was anti-corruption mantra. For me and some persons, I don't think Buhari will be telling him not to. If those persons are corrupt, Tinubu can go. Maybe he's even advising him to go after them the more. You don't know.
Who knows? If that is the case, we'll continue to advise the incumbent president, Bola Tinubu, to continue to go after persons who are suspected to have dipped their hands in the till. Nobody should be spared. It's only after Tinubu has finished his own, he will not be in power forever. When he leaves, there will be a successor. And if there are some gray areas, some allegations and suspicions, the man that will succeed him should also go in full force against himself or his men. In the past, we thought presidents are indeed immune from prosecution, but what is happening in the United States, where former President Donald Trump is facing two separate criminal charges, tells us that very soon a former president may also be asked to come and answer some questions. Yes, probity and transparency.
Not as president, probably as minister.
As a former president. No, as former president, you have this unofficial norm that no matter what a president did in office, perhaps based on that belief that he did it in national interest,